Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Alex and today I'm going to tell you why I believe the Tissot PRX is one of the best entry-level watches on the market. I often get the question on my Instagram channel whenever I'm doing a Q&A, what is the best watch under X amount? And for the entry-level price segment, let's call it under 1,000 euros, the Tissot PRX is one of the go-to watches I recommend, and it's because several factors. But before we jump into the watches, because I have both the 40mm automatic Powermatic version with me today as well as the 35mm quartz version, let's just get this out of the question. People will say that the watch looks like a AP Royal Oak copy or something like that, and sure, it has design cues that are similar to the AP. Well, I mean, most integrated sports watches have some kind of similarity to one and each other. The only thing the automatic model has in common with the AP Royal Oak is, in my opinion, the waffle texture dial. It's more of a love child, so to say, between the Rolex Oyster Quartz and the Royal Oak. However, you know, in the late 70s when Tissot introduced their take on the integrated sports watch, it was the C-Star and it was launched in 1978, and it's more similar, in my opinion, to the Oyster Quartz than anything else. However, let's not focus on that. Let's focus on why I believe the Tissot PRX is a great watch. This watch was introduced back in 2021, became a big talking point directly when it was launched, and they started with the quartz version, and later on the Powermatic automatic version followed. And I'm not the first person to do a video about the PRX, and I'm probably not the last. However, I just want to share my thoughts on the watch, what I do like and what I don't like about it. So let's dive in and let's start with the larger one of the two, the 40mm version. So what we're looking at is a 40mm stainless steel case. The watch is about 11mm thick and it has a brushed case finished as well as an integrated stainless steel bracelet that's also brushed. So what's nice about this bracelet is not just the quality feel of it, but they also have a nice polished edge, so to say, on each link before it moves on to the next one. And this creates a very nice effect when you're wrist rolling it, so to say. It looks really cool and it's a very nicely finished bracelet for the price point. The lug-to-lug measurement depends a bit on how you measure this watch. On the 40mm version, the lug-to-lug is 45mm approximately. But if you measure it with the first link, it's a bit longer than that, and it's around 50-51mm. So it wears very big, as almost all integrated bracelet watches do. So this is something I think you should try on before you purchase it. On both versions we have a polished bevel going along the case side and also a polished bezel. For the dimensions of the 35mm version, it's a bit slimmer than the automatic one. It's about 9.6mm thick. The lug-to-lug here is around 39mm, but with the first link included it's about 45mm in total. One difference between the automatic version and the quartz version is that the automatic version has an open case back while the quartz version has a closed case back, and both watches are water resistant to 100 meters. Moving along from the case, we have many different dial options here, and the biggest difference between the quartz versions and the automatic ones is the waffle dial texture. We have dials like blue, black, we have this aquamarine, teal, I don't know what to call it exactly, green dial version in the quartz one. We have a darker green in the automatic version. We also have a silver dial, so there are many dials to choose from. And now we also have gold PVD versions that are in the 35 and 40mm case size, only with the quartz movement though, but it's a nice addition to the lineup. Looking at the dial, we have stick indices for the hour markers, and we have baton hands for the hour and minute hand, central seconds, and a date window at 3 o'clock. Both the hands and the indexes are filled with Super Luminova. The lume game is not super strong, but it's alright considering the price point, I believe. So I mentioned a bit about the bracelet earlier, but I really want to emphasize this because I really think it's a very well engineered bracelet. So we have the brushed finished as well as the polished parts at the end of the links. And we have a butterfly clasp. So the clasp looks really nice. It feels very solid as well. You have also a quick switch mechanism that will allow you to change the bracelet to, for example, leather straps that are available for these watches as well. I'd love to see some rubber strap options to these models. I think that would be a great upgrade to be able to alternate between a bracelet, a leather strap, and also a rubber strap. So I hope that's something they will add in the future. So moving on from the very nice bracelet to the movement. So the quartz movement is available in both sizes, both 35 and 40 millimeters, while the automatic movement is only available in the 40 millimeter case. And this is something I think and hope they will change in the future as well, because I'd love to see these textured dials in the smaller case size as well with an automatic movement. And the automatic movement has an impressive power reserve of 80 hours, so that's really nicely done by Tissot. It's not an in-house movement, but it's based off an ETA movement, and Tissot is owned by the Swatch group that owns ETA. So yeah, depends on how you see it. You could probably call it an in-house movement, but I wouldn't. The quartz movement is what it is. It's nothing fancy, but it keeps the time as it should. If we take a look at how the watches wear on my wrist, the 40 millimeter version is way too large. My wrist measures 16.5 centimeters. It's a big watch. I mean, around 51 millimeters in lug to lug. It's not maybe the most fair measurement to tell how this watch wears, so that's why I suggest you try it on before making any decisions. But compared to how the 35 millimeter version sits on my wrist, I'd say it's a home run. It ticks my boxes in terms of how a watch should wear on my wrist. So the 35 millimeter version is a big thumbs up from my point of view. Price-wise, we're looking at 695 euros for the automatic version versus 375 euros for the quartz versions. And at this price point, I really think you get a lot of watch for the buck. And this is what I think Tissot has done a really good job with, because they haven't really cut any corners when coming to, for example, the design with the finish, with the bracelet to start with. And that's what's really nice, and that's what makes this watch a really good first purchase for the one that's just starting their watch journey. So really hats off to Tissot. You're doing a great job at the moment. Keep it that way. The only things I would like to see, because personally the sunburst dial options are not my favorites. I think they look a bit cheap. For example, this teal or aquamarine version I have with me today, I don't like it at all. It's just not for me. Also, the black and blue dial are sunburst finish. I'd love to see it or something else than just sunburst, because I'm starting to get sick and tired of all the sunburst watch dials, to be honest. But I know I'm in a minority here, so that's just my 2 cents. I'd love to see rubber strap options for both sizes. I think that would be a huge hit actually, because I mean, if you're looking at summer times, you want to take the watch to the beach. You don't want to wear the bracelet if you're feeling that your wrist tends to swell a bit and become larger and not so comfortable to wear a metal bracelet during the summer. Then a rubber strap would be ideal, because we all know that leather straps are not made to go swim with. So that's one thing I think can be improved. I also would love to see more dial options with different dial finishes, such as a brush dial, for example, or more matte dials. I think that would be very nice indeed as well. And of course, I would love to see a 35 millimeter option with a automatic movement. So yeah, that's basically it. It's a quick take on why I think the Tissot PRX is a great entry-level watch for anyone out there. I also see it's a great addition to any of the people that are already in the watch game, but that wants a good daily beater, so to say, because considering the price point and what you get a lot of value for your money. So I might even consider one myself in the future, especially if they do a 35mm automatic version or add some other dial types, because I don't really mind the quartz movement per se, but the waffle dial really elevates the watch in my opinion. So Tissot, if you're watching, rubber strap, 35mm automatic with the waffle dial, and you'll get an even better seller than this watch is right now. All right, guys. That's it for this time. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know in the comments what you think about the watch, if this is one of the best entry-level watches in the industry right now, what you think about the model, what you'd like to see in the evolvement of the PRX line. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.